Hello everybody, I'm Kate Cass, and welcome to the latest edition of my DVD and Blu-Ray Collection video. Last time I gave you guys a look at the movie collection, now it's time for the TV shows. So yeah, I think that's all the introduction we need. Let's just jump right in. You can't ask for a better way to start off a TV show collection with one of the best TV shows ever made, not just animated, just ever made, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes, it's DVD, I know, I desperately need to upgrade this, it's on my list. But I did upgrade the sequel series, The Legend of Korra. I know this is a more divisive series, but personally, I liked it a lot. Sorry haters, I thought it was great. The first season of Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Yes, this is actually on Blu-ray. Whenever I mention that I have this, people are like, they put it out on Blu-ray? And the answer is, yep. This was also one of the very first Blu-rays I ever bought, right alongside the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies from the last video. And we got my Boy Meets World seasons. We have season 2, 3, and 6. Bit of a mishmash. I know, I get these whenever I feel like picking them up. I'm not trying very hard, as you can see. Here we have the 4th season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now you might be thinking, Kate, why do you have the 4th season of Curb Your Enthusiasm and none of the others? That's a little strange. Well, it's because this season is the one where Larry David goes on as Max Bialystock in The Producers. It's such a weird development for the season, but it's a lot of fun, especially if you are a huge fan of The Producers like I am. Curb Your Enthusiasm is a fine show, you know, it's okay. But obviously, I really loved this season when I heard that it was a thing, so yeah. Here's a sentence I love that I get to utter. I own the complete series of Danny Phantom. It is so exciting to see physical releases like this, especially for one of my all-time favorite shows, as you can probably tell. Now here we have the complete English releases of the Digimon anime. This was like one of my big Christmas presents a few years ago, and it was incredible. It took so long for these to get on a proper physical media release that I can't tell you how exciting it was, and still is to an extent, to be able to watch Digimon whenever I want any episode. So you can probably see, but I'll run through these real quick. We have the original series, the one that started it all, Adventure. The sequel series, Adventure 02. The soft reboot, Tamers, arguably the best series of Digimon, but it's not my favorite. That honor goes to Frontier, which I have stated multiple times. I know it's a divisive season, but this is what got me into Digimon, and I love it so much. And then Data Squad is down here all by itself. It's sad. I think Korra knocked it down here. Here's an interesting one, and it's interesting because it's another blind buy. If you remember the last video, you know that I don't blind buy things that often, but I found this at the dollar store, of all places. We have the first season of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Now, I picked this up blindly because I heard that it was really great, and it looked like a show that was right up my alley. I checked out the first episode when it aired, and I just didn't really get into it. I think I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time or something. But I never got around to giving it another shot, so that's why I picked this up. So if any of you have seen the show and, you know, want to let me know if it's any good or not, feel free in the comments, but I'll definitely be checking this out eventually. And almost the entirety of the rest of the shelf is comprised of Doctor Who. When I was first getting into Doctor Who, I bought all sorts of, like, classic series and stuff on DVD to check them out because that was really the only way you could do it, and even now, if you don't have BritBox, it still kind of is. We have this collection of the Doctor's Revisited specials, which were this series of specials during the 50th anniversary, going through each and every incarnation of the Doctor, and then sharing an episode from their run. So these sets are kind of a cool little beginner's guide to classic Doctor Who. It contains some great episodes. But yeah, I don't know if these are still in print, but if they are, and you can find them for a decent price, and you want to see some of the best of Classic Who, look into these, because it is a great introduction. However, my introduction to Classic Who was right before the Revisited specials, in the beginning. Yes, the first episodes of Classic Doctor Who I ever saw was checking it out right where it all began. This DVD contains The Unearthly Child, the debut of the Daleks, and The Edge of Destruction, to me, an insanely underrated episode of Classic Who. Going from the beginning of the series, we have the first companion departure in the Dalek Invasion of Earth. Another great serial, a little long, but it is really good. And of course, the Doctor's final words to Susan are still 50, almost 60 odd years later, some of the most devastating words and beautifully performed moments out of the entire series. I also have the third Doctor serial, Inferno, which I'm going to be real with you guys, I have not seen. I've had this for a long time and I still haven't gotten around to watching it. I will one day, I swear. I also have not gotten to watching this serial, The Pirate Planet. Now the reason for that is that my mom bought me this for like a couple bucks on eBay, which was very nice of her, but I realized when it got here that it's part of this series called the Keys to Time series. So I'm wondering if it works well as a standalone episode or if I have to have the rest of the episodes in the serial to really appreciate it. So if anybody knows, feel free to let me know if I can watch this and appreciate it fine as a standalone. But in the meantime, here on the shelf it will remain. I have this cool trilogy of episodes called the Black Guardian Trilogy. I won't go too in-depth into this. Something that stands out about it is that it's the introduction of the Fifth Doctor's companion, Turlough, who I have a soft spot for. I really like Turlough. It's a really interesting introduction to a companion. The 20th anniversary special, The Five Doctors, an easy purchase, as is one of the 7th Doctor's best episodes, Remembrance of the Daleks. Silver Nemesis. Only reason I picked this one up is because I saw a video on the Cardinal Master Plan, and this story was included in the breakdown of it, so I decided to check it out, and it's fine. I'm not going to go over what the Cardinal Master Plan is here. Find a video. It's really insane and interesting. Now this, oh my gosh. This is one of those complete classic series collections on Blu-ray for Doctor Who. This is the first one they released for the 7th Doctor. I was so excited when they announced this because it contains not only some of my favorite episodes of the 7th Doctor's run, but some of my favorite classic episodes, period. Including Battlefield, which is my all-time favorite classic episode. And you know, these DVDs here in the States, they're really going out of print, so it's actually cheaper to buy this expansive collection of all 4 of these stories on Blu-ray than it is to buy one of them on DVD. So I am really thrilled and proud to have this. It was a little on the pricey side for me, but it was absolutely worth it. And I'd love to get more of these classic collections because even just having one, I realize how fantastic they are. The only problem is that they're so gosh darn expensive. And I do have some modern in here. We have the complete collection of David Tennant's run, the 10th Doctor's run on Doctor Who. Very popular run, obviously. It comes with pretty much everything the original Blu-ray and DVD releases did, so you get all the episodes, all the specials, all of the confidentials, and even some extra stuff. Like, it even comes with the episode of Sarah Jane Adventure with David Tennant in it. It is a fantastic deal for what you get. Please do more of these. I'd love to do this if they did this for Peter Capaldi or especially Matt Smith. Oh my god, if they had a set like this for Matt Smith, I would lose my mind and I would buy it immediately. And one last DVD here on the end of this shelf, we have the complete series of El Tigre. It says season 1, but it's the whole series because it was really underappreciated in its time. But still, I'm glad that I could own it and I could watch any episode whenever I want because it's another show that was really tough to find any other way. We have the first season of Fargo, which is fantastic. This was one of the first things I watched during quarantine, and me and my mom, we watched it. We were just entranced. It was fantastic. The other seasons, but yeah, this one is phenomenal. We got some classic TV here. I've got 4 seasons of Get Smart. I'm not positive this is the whole series, but it is still great to have these sets. I really need to rewatch this. It's been too long. It's a great show, very funny. It's got Don Adams, made by Buck Henry and Mel Brooks. You know, it's a classic. 4 isn't even open. What is wrong with me? More classic TV. We've got the classic Green Acres. This is season 2. That's season 3, and I have season 1, but it's in this thing because it doesn't have the case anymore. Another classic show that I'm really nostalgic for. His Dark Materials Season 1. If you've been here for a while, you know I loved this show. I bought this almost as soon as it came out. It's fantastic. Look at Yorick on that cover. Oh, so powerful. And if you're new here and you don't know how much I loved His Dark Materials, definitely go check out my review. Hopefully I'll remember to link it up there. There's a card, click on it, go watch it, please. This one's kind of weird. Hot in Cleveland Season 1. This is a show that TV Land produced a while ago. Might have been 10 years ago, sheesh. The way I always describe it is that imagine if the Golden Girls were 10 years younger and lived in the late 2000s. That's what this would be, including having Betty White. First of many Hanna-Barbera collections you'll see, we have this amazing collection of the Huckleberry Hound show. Let's get that whole thing in there. There we go. And a classic modern cartoon, Infinity Train Book 1. I love that they put this on home media. I wish it was Blu-ray, but you know, if you follow physical media releases, you know Cartoon Network doesn't really do Blu-ray for some reason. I don't know why. But still, I'm thrilled that Infinity Train make the cut. I am so excited. Later this month, they're going to release book 2. I hope they keep releasing the books on home media because I would love to have them all don this shelf someday. Don't sleep on the show. It's fantastic. Hashtag renew Infinity Train. Hashtag finish Infinity Train. This might be the oldest DVD I still have. I think it's one of the first DVDs I ever bought. More collections from Hanna-Barbera. We have the complete series of the Jetsons, or at least the complete series from the 60s. It doesn't have the slipcover anymore like Huck does, because some of them lost the slipcover over time because I was a kid and stupid when I got these. The first season of Kim Possible. Yes, Kim Possible had a couple of physical releases. It had this and the second season, but they were very limited quantity. This is a pricey set. Season 2 is even pricier, which is why I don't have it. But I am proud to have the first season of one of Disney's best animated shows. Some episodes of the Looney Tunes show. For some reason, they don't have season sets for this show, but whatever, it's fine. Here's another classic sitcom. We have the complete first season of Murphy Brown, an iconic show that ran for 9 years and won several Emmys. You wanna know how many season sets there are of it? You're looking at it. Yeah, that's annoying. There's several reasons as to why. I'm not gonna go into it here, but you know, at least I can say I own all the physical releases of Murphy Brown that exist. It is a fantastic show. If you could find it and watch it, I highly recommend it. Down here we have a set that really stands out. We have, the complete series of The Nanny. Again, it's one of those shows that I'm so glad is getting more attention lately since it came out on HBO Max. It's such a fun show. It's hilarious, the cast is great, it's subversive at points, and this is by far the most ridiculous looking set that I own, but you know what? It's fabulous, and I love it. And a little bit more on the classic sitcom front. I think this will be all of it. No, it's not, but here this will be it for a while. We have Night Court. We have the first season with its delightful cast of characters. The second season with a slightly different cast. The third season with an even slightly differenter cast. And the fourth season with even more casting changes. Yeah, Night Court had trouble keeping a consistent cast of characters for its pretty much up to this point. I think this was the group that was there until the end of the show. Still, such a great show. I'm so sad that it's not available to stream anywhere, because I'd love for the show to get more attention. You can't get the whole thing on DVD. I don't have all of it. I'm working on it. Slowly. Because these sets, Night Court sets, they get pricey. This one's kind of weird. The Penguins of Madagascar, but I like this DVD set because it's specifically the episodes with Dr. Blowhole, which are really fun, weird, exciting episodes. And fun fact, Dr. Blowhole is played by Neil Patrick Harris. So yeah, I know Penguins of Madagascar is kind of a divisive show, sort of. It depends on how much you like that the movie wasn't related to it in any way. But personally, I thought it was a lot of fun, especially these episodes, which is why I have them. Okay, now, if you followed Sherlock and the Curious Critic, my retrospective last year, up until the end of The Final Problem, which if you did, if you sat through the entire Final Problem review, thank you so much. You know that to reward myself for that year-long retrospective, I got myself a little something special. The complete series of Sherlock on Blu-ray. Now, once upon a time, I did have seasons 1 through 3 and The Abominable Bride on DVD. Now, before you make any assumptions, the reason I didn't have season 4 on DVD is because by that point, I'd gotten my Blu-ray player. So I wanted to wait and get every single season on Blu-ray, but I held it off and off and off until just a few months ago, where I decided to finally go for it. It has the entire series, including The Abominable Bride, which is fine by me because I loved The Abominable Bride. But yeah, this is so cool, it's crisp, it's amazing to finally own the whole show in high def. Do you ever have those sets that, like, you hold off on getting for so long because they're so pricey, and you just start to think you're never gonna have it? That was this, and I'm so glad that it's finally in my collection. Oh, doesn't this drive you crazy? For some reason, season 3 does not have anywhere on the spine that it's season 3. I just checked, and the DVD was like that too. Why, I don't know, but that's part of the reason why it's displayed like that. Now, as much as I love Sherlock, and I do, there is one Sherlock Holmes series that I own that surpasses all of them. Movie, show, any visual media. This is the gold standard for Sherlock Holmes adaptations. The complete collection of the Granada Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring none other than Mr. Jeremy Brett. Jeremy Brett is the definitive Sherlock Holmes, and these 40 episodes basically spend their entire runtime showing you why that is. This is not only my favorite Sherlock Holmes adaptation, but consistently, like 8 times out of 10, is one of the best adaptations I've seen of anything, period. And look at the set. The green and gold, it looks so pristine, and it's worth it for the show because this is high end. This is like one of my favorite complete series sets or season sets that I own. It's beautiful. It's another one of those ones that's kind of expensive, but God, just look at it. We're not done with Sherlock Holmes quite yet. We have this TV version starring Peter Cushing, which I think this might have been my first adaptation of Sherlock Holmes, and it's pretty good. Now, a bit of trivia about this. This set only contains 5 episodes, but there were several made. Well, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, you know that the BBC in the 60s were not great at archiving their episodes and shows and stuff, and sadly, Doctor Who was not the only show that suffered for that, which is a real shame, because it's not the best adaptation out there, but it's solid, and from what I've heard of other episodes that they made, I would have loved to have seen them. Okay, I think this is the last sitcom. We have the first season of Sister Sister. Great show. But I did hear that they're coming out with a complete series set, so this might be leaving the collection soon. And now we arrive at the bottom shelf, and we start with one of my few guilty pleasure TV shows. Now, if you were a kid or teen in the late 2000s or early 2010s who was really into musical theater, you might have been a fan of Glee. You might have been Glee trash. Me, I demanded something a bit more sophisticated, or at the very least demanding of more original music. I was Smash trash. We have the complete first season of Smash. Yes, I really like this show. Okay, to be clear, I watched some of the first season when I got this. I haven't finished a rewatch of it, so I remember loving it from like 10 years ago. I will say, the cast is exceptional. There's amazing original music in it. It has some of my favorite songs, period. But it's trash. It's trash, but it's my trash. If you want a really fun and insightful video, Broadway by Ghostlight just did a video of them reacting to the very first episode. I'll try to remember to put it up in the card up there, so go check it out if you haven't. Here we have this cool collection of Sonic X episodes. This comes with the Chaos and Shadow sagas, which were basically like recounting the first 2 Sonic Adventure games into the Sonic X storyline. First 2, only 2 adventure games for now? No, probably forever. But still, I love, this is my era of Sonic, and these episodes are fantastic. To me, anyway. But right here, we've got even better episodes. This is the complete second collection of the third season of Sonic X. This is the Madagascar saga, where they like go into space and do all sorts of dramatic things where people die, and it's awesome, except that not as many people die in the 4Kids version because it's for kids. This is another one of those sets that, like, it was so hard to find episodes, and I was so thrilled when they released it on DVD. Yes, I know there's a Blu-ray release of the whole show. I really want it, but that's an expense I cannot spare right now. Not done with Sonic quite yet, because we also have the complete series of Sonic Sat AM. And this is something I picked up very early on in my love for Sonic the Hedgehog, and yeah, everyone's right. It's a really great show. Oh, let me show you something really cool about the set. So the cool thing about this set is that the entirety of the cover art and disc art consists of fan art. Like, look at that. That's such a cool idea. I wish more things picked up on that. But there's something about this set that always stood out to me, aside from the content itself, which is, it was really something special. And if you'd like to hear me talk a bit more about these shows and maybe a few other Sonic cartoons, then check back in this summer. Alright, just a few more, and they are all classic cartoons. We have this little collection of shorts from the Tennessee Tuxedo Show. I don't know if anybody in the comments even knows what this is, but if you do, definitely let me know. I love this show. It's like also like semi-educational, and frankly between this and like Cyber Chase, I learned more from those shows than I ever did in school. It's even educational on the back. I don't know how well you can read it, but it actually tells you facts. This is how I learned what a barcode was. That's really neat. I always, like I said back with the Sonic Sat AM collection, I always love those extra unique details like that. Now, as you can tell, I have a lot of Hanna-Barbera collections, but this is by far my favorite. The complete series of Top Cat, which is why naturally it's my oldest and why it's the most beaten up. There's no slipcover anymore. The discs are in pretty poor shape, so please release the show on Blu-ray, Warner Brothers. You know, we got the Flintstones, we got the Jetsons, we got Scooby-Doo. This is the next step. This is the only other primetime Hanna-Barbera show. Release it on Blu-ray, I'm begging you. Another very nostalgic classic cartoon for me, we have Underdog. There's another one that I'm so thrilled there's a complete collection of, because for a long time there wasn't. The closest you had was like those best of DVDs, which are fine. I had a few of them, but it's so nice to be able to watch any episode you want, anytime. And what better way to cap off this TV show collection with another Hanna-Barbera set, this time, Yogi Bear. That's surprisingly a lot thinner than most of them. Still, it's great. Oh yeah, I forgot this was down here. We have the complete series of Parks and Recreation. Yeah, that's a massive, impressive set. Great show, only problem is that it would take up like half of a shelf here, which is why it's not here. It's just down here for now. Yeah, but I have that. That's cool. So these sets are all pretty great. Contain some of my favorite shows of all time. But if you've been here for a while, you might notice that one's missing. My all-time favorite show. And that's because it's so great that it stands above them all. My complete series of Gravity Falls. I've gone on about this before, but you know, Disney never releases complete series sets like this. It's kind of really frustrating. So the fact that they not only did this, but they did it with my all-time favorite show, and in such an amazing looking set, packed to the brim with features, it's everything I could have possibly asked for. You know, not everybody is lucky enough to get that kind of treatment with their favorite show, but I am. And that's why it doesn't get to be in this little slot. Like, it'd be right around here. No, it doesn't deserve to be there. It deserves to be right up there. High above as the trophy, magnificent representation of my all-time favorite show that it is. And yes, I have a Gizmoduck figure, but that's a subject for another time. And once again, that's pretty much it, guys. My entire TV show collection. So, like the movie collection that preceded it, my TV show collection isn't anything big or impressive or elaborate. Instead, it's just kind of weird, but I think it does embody a lot of my favorite shows. There's so many collections on here, especially recently, that I've wanted to own and be able to watch whenever I want for so many years. I'm lucky enough to have so many of them, and like my movie collection, I hope to build it up with many more new shows, and maybe even some older shows in the future. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for checking out my collection videos. Stick around, we'll review something again soon, I promise. But until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.